Today, deaf bankers call to account. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Well, notice post covering finance and property news. Well, the Commonwealth Bank subsidiary Bankwest, the 130-year-old former Bank of Western Australia bank, announced last Wednesday that it was moving to become a digital-only bank and would close 45 locations in the state. The 45 Bankwest branches that have been earmarked for closure will close their doors by October this year. And there are 28 locations in Perth and 17 in regional Western Australia. A further 15 branches will be rebranded under the Commonwealth Bank banner and are expected to finish their transformation by the end of the year. This is, yes, the same CBA whose CEO Mat Comyn on the 20th of December 2023, in a statement to the Senate inquiry into regional bank closures, promised not to close more branches until at least 2026, even though they did specifically exclude Bankwest from their statement, while saying, "We recognise the unique and important contribution that regional Australia makes to our country. Our decision to pause regional branch closures is also predicated on customers and communities valuing our decision to stay." Bankwest said that it has more than 500,000 customers in Western Australia, but fewer than 2% of them visit a branch regularly, with only 15 over-the-counter transactions occurring in regional WA each day. And Bankwest said that it will be contacting regular branch customers to explain to them how this decision would impact them and a range of options to help them transact. It said it could no longer justify having so many branches dotted across the state when virtually no one used them. Bankwest Executive General Manager Jason Chan said this was not an easy decision to make. By doing this now and going a little bit harder, we can unlock that investment and get those jobs and get that new capability and lift the experience for 97% of customers using digital channels, he said. It's critical we prioritise investment for the majority of our customers who expect leading digital and broker banking services and really use branches. But we have a clear focus on the needs of our regular branch users at this time. He said those employed at Bankwest branches will be offered new roles in the company. Our branch colleagues have invaluable knowledge and experience, and they will all be offered opportunities to access the next generation banking jobs so they can continue to support customers nationwide from in their own communities, he said. But Bankwest, I think, is poking a stick at a wasp's nest, because as a result of this announcement, Bankwest has been called on to explain to the Senate inquiry into regional branch closures as to why it is closing dozens of branches in WA. While the bank said it was catering for customer demand for online services, Senator Mat Comyn, chair of the inquiry, said they need to justify their choice, which he claims will negatively impact some Aussies, particularly those in regional areas. So he's called on executives to front the Regional and Rural Affairs and Transport Committee hearings next week. Scheduled hearings will be held at Tom Price on the 13th of March 2024, in Canberra on the 25th of March 2024, and at Bribie Island on the 16th of April. Those closures will impact all the communities that they are operating in, reducing banking choice and the ability to get an essential service, Mat Comyn said. Even though all staff are being offered alternative career opportunities, these could still see job losses as a result of requirements to move or take on substantially different roles to what they were working on previously. Our regional communities are already struggling with employment opportunities, and removing the jobs that these branches provide impacts smaller communities so much more than metropolitan centres. It's quite clear that as a country, we need to rethink the government's approach to policy to protect regional banking services and to ensure that it's available to our communities. Committee member Senator Gerald Rannoch said regional residents deserve to have proper access to banking options that were not available at Australia Post. The continuing closure of branches by the major banks shows why a public bank is needed to ensure that banking services are available to all Australians, regardless of their circumstances, he said. Banking is an essential service, and it is the role of government to ensure that every Australian can access essential services. And committee member Senator Richard Colbeck said the committee had been hearing plenty of people raising concerns about the vital banking services being lost. Every week in our hearings, we hear from local communities how important these essential services are and how their communities are affected. Yet those who are given a license to provide those services, the so-called service sector, continuously ignore these pleas and withdraw services. It's as though, he said, their ears were painted on. Spot on, senators. Well, keep fighting the good fight here. We cannot let more branch closures occur, essentially hitting regional centres so hard and making it impossible for them to thrive and survive. Unfortunately, this is a story that has been playing out over many years, so it'll be fascinating to see what happens next. And I wonder whether Bankwest will rock up in front of the Senate or whether they ignore them. We will see. But the bottom line is this: the naive story that everyone is doing digital banking and that regional branches are therefore not required is far from the truth. And as I highlighted in my initial submission to the inquiry, which, by the way, helped to trigger the inquiry some time back, well, the truth is that there is a differentially more important role for branches in regional locations compared with metro. And yet, of course, regional branches are precisely the ones being ripped out. Like I said, Bankwest is poking a hornet's nest, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.